I want it buffed and polished and the rims detailed.
Can you get the fuck out of the car, please?
I have pepper spray in my purse.
I have a gun in my pants.
What kind of fucking car wash is this?
Hey everybody, this is Darren Van Dam and you are watching Flick Connection, and today I want to tell you about the new Netflix original movie, Point Blank. I'll just start off by saying that I really liked this one. The best way for me to describe it is that it's kind of like a really good burger. It's a fairly simple action movie, but to compare it to other simple action movies, this one's just really well crafted, really well paced. It's just like a really good $10 burger, and I gotta be honest,
I do love the taste of a good burger.
So with that said, Point Blank stars Anthony Mackie and Frank Grillo, two lower level MCU characters. It also stars Marcia Gay Harden as a total badass. It's been a while since I've seen her in anything, and she was really good in this, surprisingly good. And the movie itself is surprisingly good, especially for a Netflix original. I had high hopes for this one for a couple of reasons. One, I like Mackie, I really like Frank Grillo. This is also directed by Joe Lynch, who did another couple of movies I really like. Everly, which is a really good action movie starring Selma Hayek, and Mayhem, which is also a really cool flick. So I was excited to see his next movie, but in addition to that, Joe Carnahan produced this. If that name sounds familiar, he directed movies like The A-Team, The Gray, Narc. I really like his films, so the fact that he was involved, I was excited to see a Frank Grillo action movie produced by him, directed by Joe, so all cool stuff. And then for starters, this movie really kind of kicks off in the right way. And this is going to be a spoiler-free review, but the movie opens up with a couple of gunshots, some punk music, and you know right from the start this is going to be a fun action movie. On the note of the punk music, this movie's got a really eclectic and good soundtrack. I really dug the soundtrack throughout, and it really helped it become this sort of fun action movie. Not like an action comedy or anything, but just good, solid, fun action. And a good example of how this movie's sort of like an elevated yet simple action movie, and just a fairly basic car chase. It's good, it's shot well, but there's not a lot of crazy stuff that happens in it, but it features a yellow PT Cruiser with wood paneling that just sort of takes it up to another level, and it's creative, it's fun. The movie had a good pace to it, it kept moving, there were some really good plot points, and about 10 to 15 minutes in, they sort of really establish the main plot point, and without spoiling it, once I knew what was going to be happening going forward, I was in. I was like, oh shit, here we go. I'm excited. And it's got one of the elements I really dig in my action movies is that Anthony Mackie is like kind of an average guy, and he's thrust into this like action movie plot, and I love that. I'm totally in for it, and it works really well here. It's also a really good movie lovers movie. There's some references. There's a John Wick reference. There's a Metal Gear Solid reference. For real big movie geeks, there's a William Friedkin reference. Some of you will get that. If you don't, it's totally fine. You don't need to get that to enjoy this movie. But all the performances are good. And again, this is not like an overly dramatic, an overly intense movie. There is a pregnant character throughout, but I felt like they weren't really exploiting that too much. The movie didn't take itself too seriously, which is perfect. It was very like self-aware. It's not a silly movie, but it has fun and lets you have fun with it. So I would honestly say this is a great one to sort of save for a Friday or Saturday night, watch it at night, lights off, popcorn, drinks, the whole thing. It's worth sort of doing that rather than just flipping it on any given weeknight and sort of like texting your way through it. I think it is that good. I felt very excited while watching it for one major reason. I feel like these movies have kind of disappeared. Like we used to get these really fun, rated R action movies all the time, and then they sort of went the way of like PG-13. And so now action movies are in this weird limbo where it's either big budget, tons of CGI, overdone with special effects, or you get these sort of rated R action movies that are like straight to streaming, the type of stuff like Bruce Willis and Nicolas Cage are doing nowadays. Movies that are not that great, like they're pretty lame. This is in that genre, but it's great. Like it's a good watch. And I can't remember the last time I saw a movie sort of in this genre that I enjoyed this much. So I hope Netflix maybe becomes a new home for movies like this, because they can be done on a smaller budget than the type of stuff that gets these wide releases with all the special effects, yet still deserve like a good audience. And Netflix seems to be letting creators do what they want to do. So if they get good directors like this one has that can do a good solid action movie, I hope they pump out more stuff like this one. But Netflix has got to stop cutting away from the end credits. The movie ends, White Snake's playing, they went through all the trouble to do these graphics on the credits. They let it go for like 2 seconds, and then they throw up Aziz Ansari telling hacky racial jokes for some reason.
White people, minorities, rich Asians. It's just fun to make white people feel bad.
Let me just sit in the mood of the movie for like, can I get 30 seconds, Netflix, before you start trying to cram the next original thing down my throat? So I hope you enjoy Point Blank as much as I did. If you want to support the show, you can become a Patreon supporter like one of these fine people. They're doing a great job of keeping this channel alive because YouTube is trying to crush me. I swear they are. But I've got so many now, I'm going to start doing live streams just for Patreon supporters. So go over there, check out the benefits, see if that's for you. But I will keep making reviews like this as long as you keep watching them. Thanks for checking out this one, and you will see me on the next one.
This is a tasty burger.